How long's it been since the last one?
I think we recorded start of Jan, or just before December. No, start of Jan. Yeah. Been a while. We took a, what would you call it? A hiatus.
Not really through choice, it was just, life.
Just life happens, my dude. But we're on it, we're back on it, we've got exciting things coming. It's just getting back into momentum as well, I think. Trying to...
Once you're out of sync, it's very hard to get back into it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Especially pumping out episode weekly. What's quite good though is that people won't know this, but I've got a backlog of a couple, and so when I release them, when this one comes out, it'll be in sequence. But for the last one I released, I recorded over saying that it's been a while, because that one will come out later, right?
Okay.
And do you know which one that one is? The flipping year in review. So year in review at the end of February.
Fuck.
But it's fine.
That was the last one we filmed, yeah.
No.
It was.
No, there's one after that we filmed, which was actually have it here. Should have it. Let me just quickly. Nostalgia.
Ah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, me too.
One memorable
episode. We're going to try some new things out as well. We've got what's first called our Rapid 30, which talk about kind of what's going on today. Today, I mean,
Rapid day, which takes about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. What would you say, 30 seconds? That's really quick. Boom, 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 boom. In bullet points, like slow it down.
Rapid 15.
Rapid 15. Well, you have a spin cycle of Rapid 30. Like, look there.
Oh, right. Is that where you drew that from?
Yeah. Colours 15 didn't sound like as cool.
What about delicates?
Delicate. Oh, that sounds... Having a segment called Delicates sounds a bit like touchy. What I want to do is get a sound set up, and so if anyone mentions politics, it's going to hit a button. It'd be like, wow, change all the lights when I can set that shit up. Flashes red.
Yeah, get low with that bit.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's
the future. But so we'll just start off. We've got the segment called Rapid 30. I don't know about you. UFOs being shot down, man. I think that's the most recent thing I've been seeing everywhere, other than what you will talk about later. But what are your thoughts on that? What is your thoughts on it?
Well, the big thing that the obvious thing in the news was all the balloons in America, Lake Huron and Alaska, and I think there was somewhere else. But there was one balloon, and then they haven't actually released what the other ones were.
There were 3 shot down.
Yeah, and then they were saying something about they're not going to rule out extraterrestrials, and then someone else said that that it wasn't extraterrestrials and all this other stuff, and everyone wants to believe it's extraterrestrials, but it probably isn't extraterrestrials. And then
I've got
there was all those other videos. I don't remember if you remember those. Do you remember they were like spheres? And they would like be jetting through the sky, and then
we did it in the UFO episode. Yeah. Oh no, we talked about it.
Yeah, and then the jets would like fly off.
Yeah, it looked like an egg, like a pill. They called it. They described it like a pill shape.
Oh, it's like a ball. No, it's like a sphere, like a baseball.
Is that the one they caught on?
They saw it like
radar.
multiple times. No, they saw it multiple times. It's like a fan, like person footage. They do that. And
I've not seen that one. That's probably a different one.
You definitely have seen that one.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going.
But I don't know if those are real. I don't know if that's like just clever CGI, clever.
There's a dude called Johnny Harris. He had a really good video on YouTube. He was I think an ex-Vox reporter. He did one on UFOs, and he just looked at it like someone who was looking for all the evidence and just presenting it would do. So he had a really good take on it. And a lot of it could be explained, especially stuff on radars and to do with refraction of light and all that stuff, and how these laser systems work. So they'd say I
don't think I'd believe it unless I saw it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like you. Even first-hand accounts, pilots experience.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I don't know what happens with that,
with sleep deprivation and things like that. And
exactly.
And your memory gets warped.
Yeah. So this new thing's weird because I was looking at the timeline of events, and the first thing we all saw, everyone's going, "What's this UFO?" Find out it's a Chinese spy balloon.
The first one, yeah.
The first one. The US are like hesitant to shoot it out because of shrapnel and all that,
Which is ironic because they didn't give about something else.
Yeah, which we'll come to. But so that happens. Then all of a sudden, what I found out, actually, this is quite interesting. I didn't know this because if you remember in the timeline, all of a sudden, all this shit was like showing up.
Yeah.
So according to air traffic control, the way it works with it's the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD. They adjust their radar system to be more sensitive because normally they'll filter out a lot of stuff, might be a lot of junk. So they adjusted the sensitivity and then picked up on these other things that got shot down, these other balloons, or UFOs. So here's the timeline. I think it's quite, New York Times had a really good take on the timeline. So February 4th, Chinese spy balloon gets shot down in the ocean. They waited for it to drift across the ocean. Then 6 days later, on the 10th, a UFO is shot down, and they call it a UFO because they haven't released to identify what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then a day later, over Canada, they shoot another thing down. And then a day after that, they shoot another UFO down over Lake Huron. So I heard as well, there was apparently, what was it? Those missiles that they used to shoot some of them are 440,000 or something like that. They shot down like...
Each?
Yeah, something like that.
Fucking hell.
Well, if you think about it, like, military engineering.
Yeah, I get it.
But one of these, I heard something else got shot down recently, was like someone's home, like, balloon experiment. So they spent it was something like they spent 440,000
to shoot down, just like a science
to shoot
experiment.
down, just like someone's like, when they put
pet project.
Pet project.
Do you know what I don't understand though with these things? If they are spy balloons, where they got shot down, what's there?
What, in the area that it fell to?
Or like, in the area that it was like obviously spying, like Lake Huron is an locked lake.
They'll probably...
It's not like there's a big submarine pen there, as far as I know. There might be, or like, whatever it could be. And then you've got the one in Alaska. Alaska is the most remote, or sporadically populated state in the States.
They'll probably do some calculations where they work out the radius it'll fall and section it off.
Yeah, no, but why in Alaska?
Why is it there?
Yeah, that's my point. If it's a spy balloon, what's it doing? Yeah, but in Alaska.
I don't know.
You'd figure something out and you put it over, I don't know, somewhere that's
I don't know.
hot.
Alaska's probably a good place though to if you're the US. Don't they have a lot of military bases in like...
I don't know. I don't think there is much in Alaska.
So maybe
I don't think there is as much in Alaska.
Do you know what would be interesting? To see the points plotted out by the balloons they've seen, and then dig into those areas and be like, oh, actually, there's military bases there.
If that is the case, then that
would be clever.
Yeah, but I'd be interested to know why those certain areas, because as far as I know,
it feels like there's nothing there.
It's not like West Point. Everyone knows West Point. Yeah. It's not like that. Or I know San Francisco has huge naval bases and other things, and I know Hawaii's got Navy bases and things like this, or it did. I don't know if it still does.
It's weird. It would be a weird mix though, right? Because doesn't that feel too obvious to have it?
Yeah, it does, but that's where you put a spy balloon.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Do you? I don't know. I'd like to ask a spy.
What would be the point?
That girl's dad. Do you know that girl's dad?
Yeah. What would be the point in putting a spy balloon over a point that has no significance?
Yeah. Or at least feels like it doesn't.
You're not going to glean anything.
Yeah.
Surely. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going on. We still don't know. They haven't. What did you say earlier? Well,
I heard that they weren't ruling out extraterrestrials, which excited everyone. But then I think Biden came out and he said that he was denouncing the idea of it being extraterrestrials.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
So
they still don't know some of the technology, according for one of them, I think. It's really lucrative. It's like, do you know what I find strange about it? It's in the public sphere. Yeah, it's in the public sphere, but they'll give you bits of information. They'll drip feed you some information.
Yeah, I mean that's what they always do, isn't it? Government.
I know, but it's like hiding in plain sight, right?
To satiate the thirst for the
exactly
what's going on.
Hiding in plain sight. And then I've heard all these flipping conspiracies that say, what are they not showing you? If all eyes are here, that means they're hiding something else, which is sometimes the case. But I don't know about this. I'm a bit confused. I think the news. I think the news doesn't necessarily do that all the time. I think sometimes it'll just go to where people's attention is going, right? And UFOs is quite a good topic.
Or Chinese spy balloons. It might not even be from China.
But actually, apparently China claimed.
Did they?
But I say that China do that with the stuff that aren't.
Didn't the Taliban like claim like loads of shit and it wasn't them?
Yeah.
So I mean,
people claiming stuff.
I'm not really drawing a parallel between America and the Taliban. But
China. Yeah. I found this, which I thought was extremely interesting, and guess what? It was on a forum called "Damn, That's Interesting." So it worked out quite well. But I was interested to see your take on it, right? So this is household income of U.S. religious groups. So I haven't read how they've done the research, but I presume they would ask the people a series of questions, and part of that is A, their religion, and B, their income, and they can draw an average for X religion, what has, and in this graph, as you guys will see, over 100,000, between 50 and 100,000, between 30 and 50,000, and below 30,000 average annual salary.
Is this for someone? Is this for for instance, the top one? Would that be like a house, like 44% of them of a household?
Yeah, if you're in the US and you're Jewish, there's a 44% chance you would be earning over 100,000. So out of all Jewish households, 44% of them, those that have said, have an annual income. Yeah, have an average annual income of over 100,000.
Atheist? How's that in there?
It's really weird. Like if you go down, like look at the bottom.
Jehovah's Witnesses. That doesn't surprise me.
Jehovah's Witnesses have like.
I've known a few Jehovah's Witnesses, and that doesn't surprise me.
Do you think it's because they're quite they're like giving away their money a lot to charity, or do you just think they're more content people?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't get into it that much, and I didn't know much about it at the time.
But it's just interesting.
I had a friend who was a Jehovah's Witness, and he would always invite me around for sleepovers at school. And my mum wouldn't let me go because
why?
They thought I was going to be like indoctrinated. That's essentially every single time he would talk about it. He would talk about I don't want you to go to hell and things like this, because that they're all being taught or told that the judgment day is coming and all this other stuff, and the people that repent and do all this other stuff.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, well, you've had the religious background, but that's what I was getting told by this guy, and I was like, all right, mate. Let's just take a step
wind it back a little bit.
Yeah. But we were good friends.
We're 10 years old.
I would never do that because they didn't want me to.
Your body will be tortured in hell by Satan.
Yeah, that's basically how that went. Another one that I find quite interesting is Catholic is very low.
Catholic? Did you think it would be higher?
The Catholic Church is probably one of the most, wealthiest.
Yeah, like I said,
religious organisations in the world. That was my idea anyway.
Percentage of each religious group with total family income of X amount per year. So I guess if you're a Catholic priest, you don't necessarily have a family.
I think the top two.
That makes sense. Yeah,
they kind of make a little bit more sense to me.
Jewish and Hindu.
Yeah, I think they're very tightly knit communities. Like if you go into London, there's certain areas which are very highly, there's a lot more Jewish people working in these areas or living in these areas than others.
Yeah.
So they're very tight knit communities, and I think when you're in that kind of tight knit community, you do.
I think
help each other out.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do as well with culture and knowledge of, let's say, for example, managing finances. Right. If you can spread that through, if you have that cultural. Idea ingrained in you and you understand it a lot more, you're going to have the tools to be a lot more well off. That's what I also think. So there's probably a lot of things about it, but that's what I'd say. But yeah, so that was damn, that's interesting. Moderators remove this post. I wonder if it's because what's that top comment? Jesus saves, Moses invests.
Jehovah's must have the world's shittiest accountants.
Those are too long. XJW, you're mostly right, but the idea of a world is led by Satan and Armageddon will come at any time. That makes sense about what he was saying. That must be really stressful to live like
They're
that.
terrible at predicting, so they gave up on dates. Yeah, that's true, because that Armageddon came 5 times when I was in fucking year 7. I'm just in a constant state of anticipation. Because of this, door-to-door preaching is prioritized over work in school so as not to miss anyone and have them lose out on their chance at everlasting life. Secular work in higher education is highly discouraged, and a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are homeschooled. Most end up in some sort of trade or member-run company. In my hall, we all did janitorial, contracting, or massage therapy. Donations to the organisation are encouraged, and it is widely enforced that money is the root of all
evil. Okay, that's also important, right?
So that makes sense.
If you see money as the root of all evil, you're going to try and avoid it at all costs.
What's another one that I was going back to the top one, the Jewish.
Yeah.
Have you seen that guy on TikTok? He's a little bit like the real life Uncut Gems. The guy who trades in watches.
Is he the older one? There's two. There's a younger one, older one, right?
Yeah, the older one.
The older one, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Adam Sandler actually got.
Maybe, or he kind of like took. Oh, that movie was really successful. Let me try and get into TikTok. But
I mean, it's really addictive to watch.
A lot of the people on there, and I don't know about everyone, but I've noticed a lot of them are Jewish.
Within that circle.
Yeah, within the people that he trades with.
Mm.
So I don't know. Maybe that's I suppose that's something. And they're all trading in like very expensive watches.
Yeah, like I said, if you have a culture that's predicated, or not even predicated around, just has ideas around finance. And the thing about watches, why is watches so good? Because it's an asset can appreciate in value, right?
Yeah.
So you should start getting into that, and then you're going to get your kids into that, because like I've made all this money.
There are definitely like watch collectors out there.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and so that is our first segment. Not too bad, not too shabby. But I want to get into our main topic now, the Internet of Things. This is something I was trying to explore, right? I was looking around the internet, as it suggests, where everyone looks around. And my thought was, the reason we also have these like icebergs, because...
define an iceberg.
An iceberg, okay, yeah. So what is an iceberg? An iceberg is, as it suggests, and as we know, or should know, how icebergs are formed, is when you see the top of an iceberg, it's like 20% of the whole iceberg. And the idea with it is that what you see on the surface is nothing to what's compared to what's below. And people have used that analogy to explain a lot of things. So you've only, the expression, you've only touched the surface. Mm-hmm. So an iceberg from the internet is different areas or categories that at the top a lot of people might know about, and as you go deeper in depths it gets a lot darker and a lot stranger. So there's film versions, there's music versions, there's, like, you could do it on anything if you try and think about it. If you think about it enough. So I just thought initially we'd kind of do something like that. We'll go like top, middle and bottom. Won't keep it too arduous.
Okay.
So to start at the top, I'll show you what I kind of found, and then I'm interested to see what you found. So at the top of the iceberg, I was just looking at kind of weird stuff that you can buy.
Can I interject?
Yeah,
I kind of took it as like a kind of, I suppose I understood where you were coming from. I kind of took it as like the further down you went, the more serious the subject.
It can be serious.
Does that make sense?
It's serious and it's dark and it's weird. Like
that's the way I took it. That's the way I portrayed it in it. So
that's fine. I mean, we're still trying to work out which way we're approaching it. But another good example is conspiracy theory icebergs, which we can look into. Is ones at the top that you'll know, some famous ones that you like might have heard of,
or something like that.
And then you get some really crazy shit that you're like, what? So it's not necessarily serious, but it's just what is that? So I just started off with some weird, strange things that you can actually buy on Amazon. We can go through a few. There's a lot, but we'll just kind of stop on the ones.
Okay.
When we say when, so wacky inflatable tube guy, that's quite boring. Throw burrito, dead as well. Hamburg telephone.
I've seen that before.
I think I've seen it on a film.
Yeah, I think I've seen that on a film.
Baguette slippers. Baguette pillow. Rubber chicken purse. Who's walking around with that? I feel like I know someone. I feel like I could picture the person. They come from Alabama.
Demi.
We used to work with someone. Kieran's not telling you her actual name. And
if it ever reaches her, we're sorry.
He's sorry, I didn't say anything. You have this rubber chicken purse. You can see her holding that. Why
Alabama?
I just see, you know, have you
What's
seen
your
those
stereotype
videos?
of Alabama?
Well,
I'm offending one person, you're offending a whole.
I know. I'll probably get it wrong as well, because what I'm thinking of is probably different state or whatever. But I just saw these like piggy like shrieking contests, and it made me think of someone like that who would go on that and do these like piggy, come on piggy.
I know what you mean.
That stuff.
Yeah.
I
don't think that is.
I've seen
I don't
it.
think
Okay.
that's Alabama though. That's like proper farming country. I don't know where that is in the States.
Ohio. Let's just say Ohio. All the shit goes to Ohio apparently, and we'll find that out, right?
The train stops.
Yeah, and the
Get on and off at Ohio. In Ohio. I can't even say the word.
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah, so there's a version of that where women have to like call their husband.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Those are the people that I imagine having this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ruben! We're gonna be late, Ruben!
Who thought of that?
Yeah, I know. Do you know what the dumb thing is? There's a load of people in that room sitting around like truly invested. Not laughing, not smiling. They're
like,
truly invested.
I think
Her
Dorothy.
picture's excellent.
I think Dorothy really had. I really felt like I was in the room with that one. I've gone to a different one because those are pretty dead. So
A Thanos One Piece.
there's
Just
lots to do with
chicken
chickens.
harness
Chickens are on that line of weird stuff to do with chickens. If you talk to someone and the first thing they tell you is they like chickens, a bit weird. Unless they're talking about cooked chickens.
What they said they own? What if they said they own chickens?
Well, if they didn't look like a farmer, it would look weird. If they were like dressed.
Do you know who used to own chickens? Do you remember Kieran
Which
at Tasting House?
yes.
He owned chickens.
Did he?
Yeah, but did he? He sounded like chicken. Yeah, but it sounded really cool actually. And there's something else on that. So he used to get he used to get fresh eggs every morning.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like they
I mean, about a month ago he probably wasn't. He's probably a bit of a drought.
Yeah, true. But the other thing was, there was a town in the Netherlands. I don't know if you've heard of this. This is really cool. Where they basically gave every citizen in the town 2 or 3 chickens, and waste, like food waste in the town, went down dramatically because the chickens just ate it all. So it's like a natural
in their household. So they'd have like food waste, and they'd just give it the chickens.
Yeah, they just have pens out in the gardens, and they just throw it out into the chicken pens, and the chickens would eat it all, and the food waste went down dramatically. Like, you know how we have issues with food waste here.
That's quite cool.
I think there's.
Where did you hear that? Where was that?
I can't remember where I heard that, but I heard that a while ago. There's a town somewhere in the Netherlands that every citizen owns chickens.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's like
I think that's quite a cool.
A lot of stuff I've heard about chickens is actually good to have them.
Yeah,
if you have the space, I think if you like here in this laundromat, it's going to be a bit. Man, just have a chicken in a chicken drum.
I've seen people that have made chicken coops out of like old disused washing machines.
Do you know the only thing about chickens?
Because they're basically the size of
kill it.
Yeah, like foxes.
That's the only thing you need to really worry about. We've got quite a few foxes.
You could probably keep chickens in here. Like, if you got rid of everything.
Yeah, I could.
You could, they could wander around outside. It would stink.
A chicken bed is pretty.
The other thing that you'd have to worry about, especially in like towns, is rats, because like excrement attracts rats.
Yeah, true.
I always remember there was they had issues with like pigeons and pigeon stool, and then that attracted loads of rats. So there was like a rat infestation.
Yeah, you need to know. You need a chicken guidebook to be like.
You need a chicken guide to come in.
Just come around with that purse. He walks around. You're like, this is the chicken guy. There's a lot of people that do that. They'll promote their business by you just seeing them, like a window washer, plumber.
I've been cleaning windows.
Policeman, fireman. You should know what they are.
That's great.
No
if I ever need a
questions.
file, do you know who I'm going
I
to give a call?
I feel like more jobs should have like strict.
You got a business card. Mate. If I ever have a fire, I'd like to give you a call. Yeah, 999, mate.
Can I call to just chat?
ask for Frank.
Can I call to chat? No, this is only emergencies where they got like a chat line. Just email us. I mean, what? Some of them are just busy taking fucking calendar photos.
Apparently, yeah.
I think some of
I don't think that's all firemen.
No, yeah, I think it's some of it's bullshit.
I know you're subscribed to the firemen.
You not get fireman monthly. What do you think as some people jobs that you should be able to? They should have a uniform straight away. Which one would you? Who do you think should have a uniform and walk around with it in work time that you should recognise? Is there anyone that comes to mind?
What do you mean? So who doesn't have one?
Yeah. So for example, like a writer. What would you say should be the uniform of a writer? So you're like, yeah. That's
no, I don't think he should have one.
No. Why shouldn't he?
Don't know.
Because it doesn't work. That's right. He's just writing.
Who do I think?
Think of all the jobs you know. What's I mean, cleaners also. We know what cleaner looks like.
Yeah, but they wear aprons.
Stereotype. Don't they wear really short skirts and?
That's a maid.
Oh, what's the difference?
With the feather dust.
Yeah, they got their little
fucking dust nothing.
Feather dusts are useless, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what you're doing with feather dust? You're just moving the dust. You move it on the floor.
It's like going up to a bit of like dust and going.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that probably has more input than a duster. Duster like tickles it around, like makes it fly up and then falls back down. Any? You haven't got any? What about actors? How should actors that you'd be like, that's an actor? They should just always be in character, and then you'll know what film's coming out.
I mean, if it was like a character, like Iron Man, he should always be wearing a suit.
Imagine like Andy Serkis was just constantly Gollum. He was like crawling around.
That'd be so annoying.
Yeah, you'd be like, damn it, why did I get Planet of the Apes? And I'm like,
imagine you're sitting on the train and or like the plane, and you're going over to America or something like that, and you just look over and there's fucking Gollum just sitting there,
looking over his shoulder at you.
Not even looking. He's like, that crouch thing that you did.
Yeah.
He's, like,
he's holding his hands over and he pulls his eyes up.
Like it's Andy, mate. You're there with your headphones and you're trying to sleep, and you open your eyes and this guy is just like looking at you.
Because you got this ring on. he's like trying to grab it.
You're like, fucking Andy.
I think someone from The Office would be funny if they stayed in character. Who would you meet? Actually, here's a good question. Which film character would you would you go out?
Film character?
Yeah, go out for dinner with. Not the actor, but the character they play.
Yeah.
I think the Michael Scott would be quite cool. He'd be funny. Actually, Dwight.
No,
Dwight would be boring.
They're not film.
No, okay, yeah, sorry. Let's say film and television.
Film-wise, just because I was mentioning him earlier, would be Iron Man.
I think James Bond.
Yeah, but Iron Man. You've seen the parties. Yeah,
true.
And like he's basically a philanthropist as well.
Okay, on that note, they can't have the fucking superpowers and the
yeah. Okay, fine. Well,
because then what do you say, Batman?
Well, no, I'd say Iron Man, but like outside the suit.
Okay, Tony Stark,
yeah.
Which is literally Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
they've got the same. Yeah, and he has the money.
And I would probably go with him because I think that would be an absolute hoot.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah,
he could be. I feel like he could get dicky though, if you went on his wavelength. He just like
100%. He's the type of person that probably could turn a room against you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that way where like one joke becomes like personal.
Yeah, you're there having fun, you're testing the waters. All of a sudden, you think like, oh, I've got his humour now, and then you come back,
and then you say something, then you go to the toilet, and you come back, and some jokes made, not from personal experience. So jokes made, you're like, haha, and then like it continues, and you're like, all right. And then it continues, and you're like, "Fuck!"
You're like, "You can stop now."
Yeah.
Why are you still dragging this on?
It definitely gets a bit awkward.
And then you get some loser in the room who you go get a beer, and then they'll make the joke. You're like, "You shut the fuck up! You shut up! You fucking little cottage face prick!"
Yeah. Not from experience though. That's just hypothetical.
Never happened.
Never,
really
hypothetical.
Great imagination.
Yeah, never happened.
So I mean, those were kind of like quite tame. The weird ones. What have you got? What's your top of your iceberg?
Start with the bottom one.
Okay, cool.
All right, first one. Okay, there's no pictures. Okay, here we go.
Let me just
What's the what? How would you draw? So this is basically. I wanted to look up the internet's like dumbest dilemmas or arguments.
Okay, that's interesting.
So what's the best way to draw an X? How do you draw an X?
How do I draw an X? I draw it in the air this way.
So you're.
I'm 7.
Okay, you're 7.
Yeah. No, I'm not 7. I'm 8 because that's 1 then 2.
I'm 6.
Oh,
I go up and down.
Yeah, that is weird. No, you up then down.
Yeah, I go up then down. Yeah, but like kind of like yeah, like so
but if
you've got that kind of motion.
But it's a box.
So you've got the kinetic energy to go right down.
No, it's a box. So a square, an X is in a box. Yeah. So how the fuck do you know where this point is? How do you know what that point is if you're starting here?
I just do that.
You do that.
I say I'm going in through the gate.
What are you doing? Why do you need kinetic energy for like straight lines?
I don't know. It's just a natural motion.
No, you draw
like
a line
doing the one
here,
movement,
and then a line here. That's your X. Have you seen people do the fucking?
Imagine someone doing 1. Look at 1. What fucking psychopath does 1?
That hurts my wrist. Imagine getting a pencil and doing that motion.
It's not even that. It's that. 2's that way.
Yeah,
2
but
feels a little bit more natural. 1
You're
is
saying
like,
drawing, right? So you have to.
1's completely backwards.
So think about holding something like to do that. Yeah, 1 feels awkward. It's like left-handers. No, even left-handers. That feels weird.
Even left-handed because I'm ambidextrous. No, you're fucking.
Yeah, but I could imagine. Use your fucking imagination, Blue. Blue. 7.
Okay. I don't remember that one. There was one that was fucking weird. Okay, should you bite or lick ice cream?
It depends on the ice cream.
Okay. What if it?
No. Why are you licking? Why are you licking that Magnum shell?
Okay, no, I'm not talking about Magnum shell. I'm talking about. Okay, well, do with the Magnum shell. Do you take off? Do you eat through it, or
do you eat the chocolate out
and then do you lick the ice cream?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I do.
Better way to do it. Who the fuck's licking it? Imagine these psychopaths. They lick the chocolate.
To get the heat.
They eat. No, they lick the chocolate. They get down to the core, and then they eat. They eat the creamy bit.
Fucking hell!
Lick the chocolate. Eat the creamy bit. So you try and lick that off, and see you've got
my god, that's psychopathic behaviour.
There'll be someone that does that.
What about with an ice cream cone?
A cone? Why? I don't lick the cone.
Do you?
I go like this.
Did you lick? You don't eat it. You don't eat it.
No, I'm a licker.
I'd lick. Which is the best toast?
Oh, this is good. 3. Oh, sorry, 6. Yeah,
I'd go 6. My parents would go 9.
What? And then scrape the black shell?
No. They fucking eat it. They like the fucking
charcoal.
The charred taste in it. It's so bad for you, and I keep telling them.
It's so bad. Carcinogenic.
Yeah, but that's the.
What? Hang on. What the fuck is 1? That's not even put in the toaster.
No, it's not.
Why is that on there?
That would come out the toaster. You know how you pick out the toast and you can hold it? That would flop.
Imagine someone goes, "Oh, 1's my favorite." What do you mean 1's your favorite? Why are you putting it in a toaster?
Imagine taking it out of the toaster and it's just flopping.
That's
over your
pre-toast. This number 1 is pre-toast.
Bread. It's just bread.
It's bread, exactly.
Fucking psychos. That was a kind of.
Does the person in the middle seat get both armrests? No. There's no fuck. Like the person on the left gets 1. You get 1. Actually, no, that's true.
People on the
who gets 1?
You get the back. The middle seat. Say you're in the middle seat.
Yeah,
you get the back of it.
You get the backs of it.
The guys on the other side get the front.
And then they get their own one. They get a full one and they get half. Yeah, you get 2 halves.
Yeah.
You sit like this. You ever done it?
Sometimes you'll switch.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll switch.
Yeah, you'll be like, fuck. You go to the loo, you come back, and they've got their hand back, and you're like,
The middle bitch.
I wedge my elbow in. I go. It's like their arm
jab. You're like, sorry.
Oh, sorry. They're like, okay. And they're like, look, they side eye you there watching a film. You're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Why don't they just give us like an extra?
Alright. Do you wash your legs in the shower?
Yes.
Do you wash your feet?
Sometimes. Feet's on the bottom in the water. Do you know what I want to get? I want to get one of those little scrubby things you can rub your feet on. Have you seen those?
No.
They're like bristles.
Mate, those are for your shoes.
My feet are fucking callous. Really sore.
You go to a hotel and you see that thing in the hallway, you're like, why are the fucking feet stuck right here?
There's a guy polishing. Why is he doing shoes? I mean, isn't that for feet?
You come out and they've got black nail like polish all over your feet.
My toenails are shiny though. How many towels should you own?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, I'd say 2. Like, change it midweek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's not doing that?
I don't know, maybe some people have more. Like, I've seen like, some people, like, they...
The bed sheet stuff, you seen that?
Yeah, some girls have, like, you know, loads of towels.
Yeah, but they all have, like, their body, then their hair as well.
Which I get.
Whereas we just got our body. Also, on your towel, how do you use your towel? Do you just don't care? All over?
Hair, I go top to bottom.
Yeah. And then next time, what do you do?
Top to bottom.
Do you know which way around you had it before?
Oh, no.
Yeah. See my point?
Oh, it's my body. I'm not that fussed about it.
Well, why you go top to bottom, then bottom to top? If you might just...
It's just routine.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just routine.
You might get a bit of your own balls in your face. I don't care about that because it's my... Like, you weren't that flexible.
This is a fucking weird one. Okay.
Oh,
this
the next one.
Fucking weird. This one kind of grossed me out a little bit.
That's so who the fuck's doing that? Why would you order chicken nuggets? Just fucking get grilled chicken.
Is peeling chicken nuggets justifiable? And the answer is categorically fucking no. And the pictures, fucking disgusting. These like naked little fucking bulimic looking chicken fillet things, and then this pile of
crust.
Yeah.
It looks great. Do you know what? Like, if they sold that, I'd eat that. But it's because I know someone peeled that with their fingernails.
There's no way you'd eat that. Some of them go kind of soggy.
This will be nice and crispy.
No, they're not going to be crispy. I mean, that is gross. That categorically, don't even eat that. That's just
Why is that
awful.
yellow?
I don't know.
That's mayo. It was white.
It was like honey mustard or something.
Like, I probably like stirred it around.
Do you know what that kind of reminds me of?
The guy who did that has long fingernails.
Yeah. Do you know what that kind of reminds me of?
For sure.
This is kind of completely off the cusp, but do you remember seeing that video of that guy? Like, he was like in India or something like that, and he was like slicing bits of meat with his toenail.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did see that.
And he would like put it against and it would slice. Oh,
yeah.
That gives me the same sort of feeling.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's disgusting.
Hang on, just quickly on this. What do you think the guy looks like that does that? Do you think he's on any spectrum? Pick one.
He's very high on a certain spectrum.
There's anything. Just pick it. Like, who does that? He's high on the beige spectrum. Look at that. At least he's got a.
True.
You.
I don't know if you want to do that one.
If a baguette could move, how would it move forward? That's dumb. I'm not doing that.
I think it'd be like a caterpillar, but
wouldn't it
that's
wriggle?
the last one. Wriggle? No, like a caterpillar.
Why the fuck would it do that? No, wouldn't it wriggle like a snake?
They wouldn't wriggle like a snake.
Yeah, well, caterpillars have segmented parts of their body. Snakes have one, so it would wriggle.
Yeah, but they also have like an invertebrate, but baguettes don't do that.
Baguette, if it was like a
baguette moved like a caterpillar. It would move like a caterpillar.
If it was multiple rolls, that would be a caterpillar, right? If it was like a packet of rolls,
it would move like a caterpillar.
Rolls.
There's no other way it would move. I don't see how it would
move like a snake.
How is it going to fucking slither?
Because it's a baguette. Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen a python? They're like a big baguette.
No, they're not.
Yes, they. What they are? What are they like?
A snake.
What if you had to say it's like a food? What food are they like?
What are those marshmallows? Flumps.
They're like flumps.
You know what a flump is?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You remember Pick a Mix?
Flump.
A flump.
Flump is not a thing. Oh, this thing.
A flump.
That's called a flump.
Yeah, it's called a flump. How do you not know the name of that? That's what an anaconda would be like.
A flump. That looks like a baguette with spirals. Spiral baguette. 100%.
Moving on.
Kill that off.
Moving on. So I want to talk about something controversial here.
No. Don't do it. Wait.
I want to talk about something really controversial.
Don't do it.
Talking about Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Let's talk about something not controversial.
So I'm not talking about the transphobe thing. That, whatever that argument can go to one side here. I'm talking about how this game is not a top 10 game for me at the moment.
Not a top 10? Not a top 10 game?
Yeah.
Not even top 5? Well, if it's not top 10, it's not going to be 5. Really?
Yeah.
What would you say? Okay, top 10, go. Exactly, because it's in your top 10.
No, it's not in my top 10, but I can tell you now that it wouldn't be in my top 10.
What's your top 10? Name, just not in order, just name 10.
I would say Elden Ring's in there, Witcher 3, God of War 3, and God of War Ragnarok.
That's 4. Keep going.
I would say Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, that first one.
You got 5 left.
Call of Duty 2 Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
First Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
The one with Ezio.
Yeah.
I would say The Last of Us.
1 and 2.
I'd say 1. I did like 2, but I'm running out of room.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd cut out the first Assassin's Creed and put 1 and 2.
Okay.
But I'd need to think about that one. And then the last one.
You don't know exactly because Hogwarts sits there.
It's definitely not Hogwarts in there.
Why? Okay, let's get back to why. Why?
I have so many. I feel like.
Do you know have you seen the attention to detail in that game?
Yes, I have. And the attention, and I think the map is incredible.
Okay. So what doesn't give it
pros wise, that map is fucking beautiful and it's incredible. And some of the stuff like the I don't know if anyone's seen this, but the prefect's bathroom and the attention to detail and the way that they did that with the book and like the detail with that, absolutely phenomenal. And I love exploring it and everything else. But there's so many like creases with the game, and I feel like everyone is just completely blinded by the fact that this is a Harry Potter game. And I'm coming from a point of view where I grew up with Harry Potter. You know, I read the first books when I was like 11, and
I used to dress up as Hermione for Halloween. He loved it.
Exactly. No, Dobby. And and then we would drive up to Scotland every year, multiple times a year, and we would listen to the cassettes, not even like the CD or whatever. It was cassettes of Stephen Fry reading the books and everything else. It was like 7-hour trip, so it was a lot. So I took in a lot of this, right? And I'm coming from a place of pure love for the whole franchise. Okay. And I believe,
why is it you don't
I got
like
such a high bar. I felt like when I played the game, I had to drop that bar down a couple of rungs.
Why?
Because there's so many like little things in it.
What's the most annoying?
I don't know about most annoying, but there's so many different.
Just have
things.
little gripes here and there. Okay.
But they all add up. Like, you know that, like, and I'm also playing things like Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, fair.
These
you
games.
Say Red Dead in your top.
No, I didn't. But
yeah.
Those games are like the benchmark for open world games, and
That's
the attention to detail in them is. You've seen the Red Dead Redemption, like people like working on like a railway. Like you see the nails going in.
They're actually building it.
Yeah. It's all that kind of shit. But then in this game, it's like you go to wait time out, and you sit on the floor, even when you're beside the bed. No one uses beds, and the fact that there's zero nighttime consequences.
You do a quest and wake up like. Just in your bed. Sorry, in the area where your bed's in.
Come off the floor.
Yeah.
Like you've been fucking sleeping on the floor. It's so weird. And then the nighttime, there's no nighttime consequences. So you can just wander around in and out of people's houses.
Sorry, on that. Is that because of how much they went on about it in the films? Is that why in the books that you shouldn't be out after dark?
I feel like it would just make a whole new dynamic.
But I'm saying, my point is that why you're so strongly on that one is because they focus so much in not being out, and in this they just kind of gloss over it.
I think there needs to be like risk reward in that sense, and the fact that you get it in one mission. You know, when you've got to go into like the faculty area, and you get caught by, and then there's another one where you go into like the
library, bit,
the forbidden bit of the library. And it's like, and you get caught by ghosts and everything like this. And that'd be really cool if you could do that. And you get this whole disguise spell. So why not use it? And you don't have to use it. And at the start of the game, I was like using it to like go in and out of people's houses. And then I'm like 5 hours in, and I'm like, no one gives a fuck. I can literally do it in the middle of the street.
You'd be at someone's house, like push them, and then go loot their chest. Yeah. So that really, really annoys me. I think there needs to be way more influence on classes. You're there to live out your kind of like your childhood dream of being a witch or wizard. Yeah.
Right? And the classes are just like I can't even remember the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor. But I went to that class and I haven't been there. I've got 40 hours in the game, I haven't been back.
Yeah.
So what's the fucking point of it? Like there's no communication, I don't have to go.
Yeah, quests from that feels more appropriate than some of the other ones.
You just need something like my main one that I drew from was Bully. I don't know if you've ever played Bully.
Ages ago.
Canis Canem Edit or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what it was. And being a friend of mine, we used to play it like during the summer all the time. But classes used to have
anger from school.
Yeah, classes used to have mini games like puzzles.
Mm.
And they were engaging, and they created like a kind of constant thing that you had to do.
You'd want to go to the class.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas this one, it's just you go once, you do the assignment, you go again, you get the spell, and that's it. You don't have to go. Like, I've never been to potions class, especially when you get the room requirement, because you can get all the potions things. So you don't have to go to the potions class ever again. You don't have to do the defense against dark arts again. You don't have to see the flying teacher again. All of that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of external, like I said, external quests that don't.
And that's another thing. So I've got 40 hours in the game. I've explored Hogwarts, right?
Mm.
I could technically go throughout the entire game without stepping foot in Hogwarts again.
Back.
Yeah,
because you haven't.
Apart from like maybe some certain quests that will like make you go to like the map room or something like that, and I maybe go to the room of requirement. But the majority of the time, I don't need to go. Like I've got all these. Yeah.
And now you get a fucking little.
Yeah, and I've got all this. I've got all this stuff like to upgrade like clothes. I've got all the materials I need. I don't need to craft potions. I've got all the materials I need for that, so I don't really need any of this shit.
I feel like it actually helps you out a little bit too much. Even with the field guide, you'll know what everything is. You won't need to like explore that much. You can just follow that little golden trail.
There's not enough like reward. There's not much of a reward system, and and the other thing is loot. That kind of goes on my another point. Would be loot. I think the loot is shit.
Oh, what? Just gold or gear?
I think that the only thing that's worth, like, the only thing that you get is like clothing items, and some of them look dumb as hell.
They're so dumb.
Right, like the dragon eyes and the jester hat and stuff. And then you can like you wear that stuff, but you can change appearance, fine. But then what's the point in getting it?
Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. It just seems a bit null and void.
The upgrade feels strange as well. You don't get like, it doesn't look upgrade when you upgrade. You just kind of like add. It's the stats are better, right?
Yeah, and the majority of the stuff is purely cosmetic. It's like wand handles don't do anything; they're just cosmetic, and you don't even see that.
Yeah, you
literally don't see it
because your character's holding.
Yeah. The clothes thing, you can kind of see it, but most of the time, most people wear the one thing that they think looks kind of cool, or whatever. And then the other thing is like your room of requirements. Some people have done it up really well and all that stuff. That's fair enough. That's not really why I'm playing the game. So that's another bugbear. And then the other thing, which is a huge elephant in the room, there's a fucking huge pitch that we aren't allowed to use, and it's fucking Quidditch.
Someone was injured, dude, last year.
Mate, okay, so you've got the hospital wing in Hogwarts, right?
Yeah.
And I know it's not Madame Pomfrey, but a precursor to Madame Pomfrey, and Madame Pomfrey could heal bones in a matter of seconds. She could fucking regrow bones.
I remember that. Didn't they Harry get like a jelly arm?
Yeah, because
they used the wrong.
Yeah, it was the.
That was really gross, actually.
Yeah, it was really gross. Yeah, what was the guy's name?
Snape.
No. It was the really dumb teacher.
Oh, was the one against the Events Dark Arts?
Yeah, it was this.
The one who wrote the books.
Yeah, but he used to obliviate everyone.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name. Yeah, so she can regrow bones. She can fucking heal this person. There's no reason for it to be like, oh no, Quidditch is banned.
It's quite dumb.
Like, it doesn't make sense. But then, like, I kind of get it from a certain point of view from like maybe the devs, and they've got to basically write in code Quidditch,
build this whole system out,
and it's probably be really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's a $1 billion franchise. You extended the deadline 3 times, the release date 3 times. Fucking get it done. I've got such a high bar. I pray
if they did all this. Good. If they did all this, where would it come in your?
It would definitely reach in my top 10. Definitely. And do you know the other thing? I feel like the storyline, it's okay.
Yeah, it's alright.
I wouldn't say going back to Last of Us and maybe even like Assassin's Creed or God of War. You feel like you're in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this game is kind of like tinkering on the edge of maybe being open world, like fully open world, and like a good story.
Yeah, it won't commit.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like sitting.
It should have used Red Dead as a good template. It does have good. It does have. What I have to say, it does have good combat.
I like the combat. I do feel like there could be a bit more of a skill curve with combat, but I'm not that.
It's still quite fun.
It is fun, and doing the spells and everything else. I do like that, but there is that kind of bit there.
Yeah.
And part of me kind of thinks that maybe it's pandering towards like a younger audience, you know, because that's kind of where the books kind of went. But then you're using unforgivable curses. You're throwing that in the mix.
Oh yeah,
so
what I didn't like about it that is a lack of morality and using stuff.
Yeah, but then this is dumb. So you go on a mission with Professor Fig.
Yeah.
I'm fucking throwing Crucios here, there,
nothing,
fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Imperios, this guy's doing whatever, you know. Even not fucking Avada Kedavra, and then he's just like, "Good job," you know. And then you get on with it.
Yeah, that is weird. I find that weird too.
There's zero consequences.
And I feel scary because of the sound controller makes. I'm like, oh shit, should I have done that?
Yeah.
I looked at my side character. They're
I look at Fig. I look at Fig, and he's just like, oh, that was tough.
Yeah, keep up the good work. Let's go. Let's go to the next round. Round 2. You're like, fucking.
Actually, and then you go to the room requirement, and Deke, one of his things is like, you should be proud of everything you've done this year. And it's like,
or you go to Madam Weasley, and she's like, you've done really good. Like, and your extracurricular activities, and you're like, oh shit, is she gonna say?
You can kill her.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people.
And then then she'll get loaded up, and then you go back in, and you should be really proud of what you've done. You're like, it's just the attention to detail there. It's just, it feels kind of like corners have been cut.
Would you have had them take another year though and done all that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Because then they could. The thing is, it's with hyping it up too. I prefer as someone to have a good argument.
Like Elden Ring,
someone had a good argument.
Zero hype up.
Hype it up when you're just about done.
When you're done.
Anything. Yeah. Don't say anything.
Elden Ring came out and it blew everyone away because no one had expectations. No one had expectations. I think God of War actually had expectations, and I feel like they filled it.
The second one or the first one?
The latest one, Ragnarok.
Yeah. Well, that kind of makes sense because they'd already developed a lot of it from the previous one.
Yeah. I do think there was something that you said, and it was about God of War being how Kratos was going to be killed by Thor.
That was cool.
Which could have been cool. Well, I don't know how that would have played out.
They said Atreus would bring him back from hell.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. I didn't read that bit.
Yeah.
So that could have been quite cool.
Yeah, that was one of the... What I think was interesting about God of War is that they almost went with Egyptian gods. They had this whole thing planned out. They have
do you think they would do that?
They have artwork for it.
Oh, really?
Some,
do you think they would do it?
Concept art, yeah. I'd like them to. That'd be really cool. I kind of want them to go back to Greek gods. I still like Greek mythology, but I know they've
killed it. They fucking killed them.
And murked them.
No one's alive.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. It's saying that though. There's so many interesting mythologies. That's why it's a really cool concept. I like how I can now, because of the Norse one, they can now jump between ones. They basically.
Well, I suppose you could go with Atreus, right? And say he follows the giants, because you know how he's gone to find all the giants.
Yeah.
And some of them maybe have gone to Egypt.
Well, Tyr was he travelled, didn't he?
Yeah, and so maybe he went to Egypt. You know, and then you kind of get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, you know, who knows?
Yeah, they've already thought about it.
That was my rant about Hogwarts.
That's top tier of the iceberg. We're getting to middle now, so
yes.
I'll make it. Let's bring it back to weird, right? So
okay.
I was just looking at. So I went from weird products, and now I'm getting into websites that are odd. I didn't want to get too odd because I want to make it a little bit PG. We might get there at some point, but let's just hold off for now. Maybe when we're getting a salary out of this. But so let's just scroll through some. I want to see what your thoughts are. Start off with number 1. I also think of a lot of this. Who the hell has time for this stuff? Look. What is going on? Who made this? Why did they make it? Why that many ones?
Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. And I don't know who this is.
I think it's all Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Are they? That isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger. That lady.
Oh,
because not. Washington is Hollywood for ugly people. What the hell
They're
is
all
that?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Aren't they like some anime thing?
They look like Power Rangers.
This one is just strange. I've been on that one. Do you want to see it?
Not really.
Okay.
What is it? Just describe it to me.
It's called Zombo.
Yeah,
it's
I can see that.
African accents, which I'm not going to do.
Wow.
Saying, welcome to Zombo. This is Zombo. Anything is possible in Zombo.
Alright, okay. Pointer.
Yeah. This just made me feel a bit weird, uneasy. I didn't want to go on it. I mean, look at that.
Which is someone pointing at the floor.
Yeah, unusual pictures on the screen.
Eel Slap, is this just some gif?
You slap this dude with an eel. You move your mouse. Do you want to slap him? Like,
have you been on all these?
No.
No. You know exactly what every single... Oh my god, what?
I actually have seen this video. It's pretty satisfying. You want to try it out? Smack. We should have the eel slap force.
Look at the saliva that comes up.
The gooey.
Yeah.
I think you should slap them a bit harder, actually. It's quite a tame slap.
Yeah.
I like how the guy is wearing a glove. Like, obviously... it's quite satisfying. I think because of the like gross.
Yeah.
There's loads. I'll quickly scroll through. That's dumb. Ducks are the best. Here's the finger. Weirdorconfusing.com. Like, this is kind of actually on the.
This is the chicken, dude.
Yeah, the products. Here's more chicken stuff. Chicken nugget keychain. I feel like some people get that thinking it's hilarious.
How the fuck is that a website?
And you'd be like, why have you got this?
Oh, there's more.
I actually have seen this.
I've seen that as well.
Farting animal colouring book. Instant underpants. This was actually on the other one. Lie down glasses.
Why is my underpants wet?
Because
oh my god, that's dumb. The sitting down glasses so you can see.
No, not you sleep, so you can just
you can see.
Yeah,
you can watch TV while you're lying down on your back.
It'd be awkward if you're like that. Why is your couch orientated that way? That means have to be sideways onto the television, which feels really strange.
A bed makes sense if it's at the
bottom.
bottom.
Bed makes sense, but
have you ever seen those? Have you ever used those? You know those beds that come out at the bottom of the frame.
Yeah.
So
what about them?
Have you ever tried using one of those?
What do you mean come out at the bottom of the frame?
So you got your bed.
Yeah.
Right. You got your headboard.
Yeah.
Other side, the bottom of the frame.
Yeah.
There's like a I don't know, like a compartment that comes out, and then the TV rises out.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
You see? Have you ever used one?
I've not used one. I've seen it.
They're the fucking dumbest things in the world.
Oh, why?
You're too close to the TV for a start, right? So they're quite big TVs, so you're kind of like you've got to lean back quite a bit, but then you're kind of like doing this because it's like at the bottom of the bed, so you kind of got.
Oh, I see.
Because like try and get comfortable, otherwise you've got to sit in the bed.
Because it doesn't come up high enough.
Yeah,
it just goes up to the height.
So like you're lying down, but then the other thing that's annoying, your feet have taken up like a yeah. quarter of the film, the screen. So you got this silhouette of your feet in the middle of the fucking thing.
Tarantino would love that shit.
So it's like it's so weird. I don't.
That's a good point, actually.
They're like really. They're like things for the rich, and they don't make.
They're so pointless. Where did you use it? At a hotel or something?
Yeah. At a hotel.
Do you know what's funny?
And I thought, this is fucking great.
Yeah,
and then I used it. And I was like,
you realise what you have to do to just watch a film.
This is just not.
And then you have to like slice sideways with your feet angled off.
Yeah, and you've got kind of like do that
in your neck.
And you're like, I'm so tired now. I've got to go to the other side. You can't just lie and relax.
That's so annoying. And then you're lying at the width of the bed that's the shortest, right?
Yeah.
Because the length's longest and the width's shortest, so now you're like half your body's dangling off.
Or you've just got to sit, or you've got to sit up in the bed, right? So you've got your back against the backboard. But then the whole point of watching TV in bed is like you get sleepy, you turn it off, and you fucking sit upright.
Or you orientate your whole body so you're like right in front of the screen.
Oh, which is the worst. The viewer trying to
it gets creepy.
You're like your stomach's like
your eyes are just way too plastered close. You can't see everything.
You're trying to do this and you kind of go like that.
That sounds horrible.
It's not fun.
On these weird things though, like that type of annoying stuff, a lot of people will still buy it.
Yeah.
And it'll make a lot of money. Bacon badges, like what is that?
Bandages.
Oh, bandages. Badges.
Well, bandages is still dumb. But
bandages.
Badges actually makes a little bit more sense.
How many times have you used a bandage? Not a lot.
No, I don't think.
Maybe the one time you got some dude, you go around his house and he has like sketchy trampoline equipment just so he can whip out his... Guys, use my trampoline, help yourself. You never been around to a stranger's house and they've said jump on my trampoline?
No, never. No?
Oh, just me.
Yeah. Maybe.
I've got some bacon bandages I'll get out for you. Cheer Bob Ross. I mean, it says it all.
Did you hear the conspiracy theory that he was a murderer, serial killer?
Yeah, I did.
And he was like,
what do you think about that?
So some of them were like,
do you think it could be true?
No, I don't think so.
No.
But like some of them were like, I suppose this is middle of the iceberg. It'd be like he'll be painting a picture and there'll be like mountains and trees, and he'll be like, "Oh, and so what else lives in this perfectly lovely place? Oh, well, let's just draw a little hut here. And he goes, and maybe there's a little door here and it's just open." And then maybe the fisherman went off into the sea and he didn't come back one day.
Did he say that?
Something like that, yeah.
That's funny. That's
Maybe
funny.
he went off into the woods and he didn't come back one
Maybe he
day.
had a friend with him. And his friend just decided, you know what, I've had enough of
That's
this
basically
shit.
where it comes from. That's where that theory comes from.
This is pretty funny. It actually reminds me of a one that was it bottled air. Yeah, it was dehydrated water.
That's
It's
like pet rock.
just add water, dehydrated water. So it's empty can.
That's like pet rock.
Yeah, pet rock.
Yeah.
There's pet rock. Do you know what annoys me about that stuff? Like I said,
People buy it.
people buy that shit, and a lot of people.
It'd be like,
this is
it'd be like
funny."
some gimmicky present.
It's like those glitter bomb
Just still
things.
bought it, yeah.
They're and fucking annoying and dumb. Have you seen some of the videos?
Yeah, I've seen those.
It's like the pet rocks. Pet rocks. The can of air. Did you hear that? You could get air from air. I was kind of interested in that.
Bath water. Do you remember bath water?
That's Belle Delphine, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know. Just check the label on
That's actually the water I use for your coffee, mate.
How do your coffee taste? Soapy.
Oh.
Talking about water, that brings me to what you were going to talk about.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So what's happened recently?
So the big thing that I was going to talk about was,
Ohio.
have you heard of Ohio? Have you heard?
Have I heard of Ohio?
Have you, more specifically,
No.
have you heard of East Palestine, Ohio?
Do you know what's interesting about that? Well, it's not that interesting, but I'm going to tell you. When they said East Palestine, I was thinking the Middle East. I kept thinking that.
Do you
I
know
did
what?
not
That
know.
it wasn't interesting. You're right.
I'm very self-aware.
You're
East-
absolutely right. That wasn't
Nobody
interesting.
gives that. It was really interesting. I didn't give a fuck. You're saying Ohio. I was telling you my interesting
East
story.
Palestine, yeah, East Palestine, Ohio.
East Palestine. I didn't know Ohio had East Palestine. As we said earlier, why do American cities have a lot of
Stolen names.
stolen names?
Well, a lot of them came from colonization.
Yeah, who just used their
Yeah, but I don't really. There will be some reason why they call it East Palestine.
But when I heard it,
But I don't know.
my point just on that was they were like, oh, in East Palestine. Like I was just supposed to know. Oh, Ohio. That would be my thought. It didn't
Yeah.
work.
Well, once you hear the rest of the story, that's when you realise it's in America.
Yeah, especially because they say Ohio after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In American accents. And the senator for
Yeah.
Ohio comes
on
and tells you-
CNN. Yeah.
Oh, this must be in America.
This is crazy though. This stuff.
Yeah, so basically, to anyone who was living under a rock this week, or 2 weeks ago, on Friday the 3rd of February, a train carrying hazardous chemicals derailed. The incident then resulted in a huge fire when all of these...
Did they? Sorry, on that. Did the incident cause a fire, or did they have to burn?
The incident caused a fire.
Okay.
50 out of the 150 trains were derailed.
Shut the fuck up, Siri. Go on.
Yeah, it caused a huge fire. Dozen cars carrying vinyl chloride and carcinogenic chemicals were involved in the derailment. Then the residents were, in a 1 mile radius, were evacuated, compulsory evacuation. And then the governor, Mike DeVin, told residents that leaving was a matter of life and death, and crews released toxic chemicals from 5 of the derailed tankers to prevent an explosion taking place. So there was a fire. So the crash happened,
Controlled
fire happened, and then in order to prevent these chemicals from being consumed by the flames when they're going up an explosion, right? So what they did was they punched holes in the bottom of the tanker cars to basically flood out the chemicals into pits like they dug, and then they fucking set the shit alight.
Was that those massive black plumes?
And then that set off the black plumes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so then they lit these
I didn't
things.
know that.
Yeah, so then the things that so the chemicals that were there released was vinyl chloride, which was the most the one that they were most scared about, right?
Is that the one that caused acid rain?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And have you seen the images of like the cars?
No.
There's people with cars.
Can I look that up quick?
Yeah. There's people with cars, and their paint has been dissolved from the acid rain.
In Ohio.
Yeah.
death plume, they called it.
That's the death plume. And then there was videos on TikTok of people like their paint has been like chipping and like flaked off because of this acid rain.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
and that's probably within a.
That's not it.
That's
Someone
not.
just put
That's
it on
right.
fire.
Go on.
So yeah, that was one of the big ones, and then there was polyvinyl chloride, a PVC hard resin used in plastic products,
It's just like
butyl acrylate. There's all these
essentially these crazy chemicals.
Yeah, all these crazy chemicals, and then the EPA has reported 5 chemicals that were contained in rail cars.
What's the EPA? Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So they reported that these things were derailed, breached, and or on fire. And then the safety board, the National Transportation Safety Board, investigated the incident and concluded that a malfunction of an axle caused the derailment. Then the EPA has been actively monitoring environmental conditions in East Palestine and surrounding towns, and residents have signed up for voluntary home screenings by the agency, right?
Oh my goodness.
But then the other thing that came out was the Senator for Ohio came on and basically said that this stuff would be gone in a week. Okay? But then all this stuff started coming out where the reassurances from officials that area's air and water quality is safe. Residents in the vicinity of the derailment have reported multiple health symptoms. This is coming out after they said that it's all gone, saying that they've had nausea, burning sensation in the eyes, and then local business owners and residents have been complaining about dead fish in creeks. There's like footage of frogs dead lying in. There's even footage because the water system that in Ohio feeds into the Mississippi, which then feeds into the Gulf of Mexico. So there's people in Miami that have seen dead sea life washed up on shore on the beaches over in Miami.
Fucking hell. So
this is having huge, widely
this is the environmental impact.
Yeah, but they're not causing a state of emergency, claiming a state of emergency, because I assume my only reasoning would be they don't want to take responsibility for all.
Yeah, I mean that's governments are like, because what I read actually just on the train stuff is that a lot of it comes from negligence and lack of wanting to put in money into actually sorting out these rail systems.
Yeah.
Because they've known for a while, right? They've just decided to ignore it.
Yeah.
And then something like this comes along that's terrible.
It's actually kind of terrifying. Like it's maybe not as bad. It's definitely not as bad as Chernobyl, but it's it's in that room, you know.
I've seen. Is this what you've got with the TikToks?
So the TikToks I've put up here are some of the ones that I've seen. Like they're basically collages of what people have
been seeing.
Reporting.
Do you want to watch them?
Yeah. So this is. I'll do this one because this is a bit lighter, and then I'll go into the other one.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, not this one. How do you stop it?
You can't even.
I'll do that. This one?
That one there. That one. Oh no, I obviously didn't do it, so just go to the top one. And it's the same one.
Is it this one?
Watch this one. So this is the governor of Ohio basically saying that it's gone. Okay.
So we're just going to watch the governor of Ohio.
And on a quick note to that. So they've been testing for these certain chemicals that were found in the trains, but they haven't been testing for chemicals that could be produced once you burn these chemicals.
Oh shit!
Because obviously it's a chemical reaction.
Yeah, it changes.
So there's new chemicals that are but they're not testing for those.
Oh, it does not sound good.
So then look at the water and look at the
so there's a lady. Slick. What did she throw? Like a rock in?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden this like
slick.
It's all in the bottom of the creek bed.
Yeah, as they throw it in, it ripples.
Yeah.
There's someone.
This is the most disgusting one I've seen.
There's someone now with a cup of tea or coffee. Ugh.
He puts milk into the water and it fizzles.
And it bubbles.
This is some of the dead animals in the waters.
Dead frog, dead fish. And they're like, no, it's fine.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's using a stick and he's pushing it all up and it's all in the water.
It's because it's on the bottom and so it's... Want to boil some water and seen this, like...
Milky white.
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I guess, and...
People have been drinking this.
Like all this flaky stuff.
Oh.
See it?
I've been drinking this.
Yeah.
Flaky.
Oh my gosh. What would you do? Let's say your house is near there and you start seeing this. What are you doing?
Leaving.
Where are you going?
I don't fucking know, mate.
That's what I mean. You know, some of these people, like, where do you go? Let's say your whole house is there, your whole livelihood.
I get that. But the
shit,
poison. It's like, you know,
yeah, it is.
The other thing that in relation was, you know, Flint. Have you ever heard of Flint?
The Flint water situation.
Yeah, that. It's like
where they said the governor on live TV, they said, "Oh, have a sip."
Yeah,
and he was like, "No, I'm good." And they're like, he's like, "But it's clean." Okay, then have a sip. I've got a glass for you now. And the governor's like, eyes. He was like, actually no, before he says, yeah, I'd definitely drink the water. I know it's clean. And they're like, oh, well, glad you said that, because to my left I've got like a glass of water. They hand it to him and he won't drink it.
Yeah,
that's so fucked up. So this is probably worse, I would say.
I don't know what's in I don't really know what the chemicals do.
Oh, whatever's going to come out.
But yeah, I've heard some of them like cause, you know, the obvious kind of like collection of cancers, like liver cancers and breathing.
Do you know what I heard was crazy with this shit?
What?
There's been what happened after in terms of chemical spills. There was multiple chemical spills across the US. Yeah. Multiple in the same, like a few days after, which is insane to me. What do you do? Like, what can you do with this stuff?
There must be ways of like figuring this out. You know, if you do that,
I think it's just corporate greed. And they just don't.
And laziness. Like, you know, the explosion thing. Surely, like, if you put down some sort of, like, plastic sheets to stop it seeping into the soil.
I don't know. The thing is, I think there's a lot of negligence. A lot of people just, they don't have the manpower and the resources to do this because no one's really cared. Now, this shit always happens. As soon as something happens, then people start caring, and it's only after the fact. It's like Chernobyl, good example, right? They only decide like after the fact, like, oh, maybe we need to sort out our nuclear reactors, and you know. Well,
that was a complete case of negligence and cutting corners, doing the cheaper way, and all that sort of stuff. That show was so good.
That was really good. If anyone hasn't seen Chernobyl,
yeah, that was really good.
Same creators as the new Last of Us.
Yeah.
So
yeah, really good. But then something else which is kind of crazy with this whole Ohio thing. There was a movie that came out in 2022 called White Noise on Netflix. I never watched it.
I never watched it either.
No, but it actually had Adam Driver in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd never watched it, but
hang on, is this conspiracy?
Kind of weird. No, it's very, very highly coincidental.
Highly coincidental.
Very, like,
on the same level theorists out there, it's true.
Yeah. The White Noise came out in 2022, and the plot was a train derailed containing chemicals, like dangerous chemicals on board, and it set fire and everything else. And the weirdest part.
When did it come out? 2012?
2022, like last year.
Okay.
And the weirdest thing about it was set and filmed in East Palestine, Ohio.
That is fucking weird,
right?
That is really
like the
really
coincidence of that.
My only explanation I could pick out of the air is that they knew about these like really shitty rails, and that this was
maybe they were trying to highlight it.
Yeah, maybe they've known for a while like something like this could happen because transport of chemicals is always on this line.
It's always on this line.
It's the most popular. This is the most like treacherous area.
There was another ridiculous statistic, and I wish I'd actually saved it somewhere because I can't remember it. But it was like,
just say it like it's fact and people believe you.
There was a high percentage of Americans that live in potential hazardous zones, like East Palestine, without knowing these areas where, you know, the rail lines aren't maybe that great,
and if something happens,
and there's something dangerous is being driven up and down quite regularly on these lines, you know.
I feel like if someone hasn't, I'd like to find it, so send it through if you find it. But it'd be a really good way to help decide where you want to get a house. That would be a massive factor, right?
Yeah.
If you could work out that, not just necessarily neighborhood, like one of the first ports call is, will it have like hazardous, I don't know, be near a nuclear power plant if people don't care about that, or they have air pollution and air traffic, you know, because that's a big thing and annoying, and even railway stations.
One I saw recently was this was in London. This guy's flat. He had like a massive, basically a radar on the top of his building, and he had the roof flat, and his room was like, it was a small room, so he had to have like a not a bunk bed, but you know what I mean? It was like a mezzanine thing. So his head was like quite close to the ceiling, and he bought this like Geiger counter thing that basically measured electrostatic radiation, and if it goes above 40, you're basically in trouble. So he was going up.
Where is in London?
Yeah, this is in London, and some people are selling this, right? And it'd probably be quite high rent, you know, London.
Yeah.
So he's like going around the room, and he's like, it's like keep him low, and then it kind of gets close to where his head would be, and it kind of goes up a little bit, starts going up the ladder, and he's like, oh fuck, that's quite high, right? And he touches the ceiling, and he's like, okay, my head wouldn't be touching the ceiling unless it was here. Like he like went up, he carried the thing as if he was going to bed, and then it got to the point where his head would be, and it was like over 40, right? And then he laid down where his head would be, and the thing would be right above his head, like on the other side of the ceiling, and he put it there, and the thing shot up to like.
Do you know what it was?
It's like some sort of radar. I don't know. You see them all the time in London.
No. I'm saying, like, did he know what the thing was that giving off the radiation?
Yeah, you can see. Like, he could go out onto his onto this garden. Yeah, you can see. He goes out into like, I don't know how to describe it really, but like, say this was the room.
Yeah.
This was his bedroom.
Yeah.
He can go out onto like his rooftop, which is basically his garden.
Yeah.
And he can turn around. He can see the roof, and you can see the radar on top of it. And he knows that's where his head is because he can see the window and everything else. So he knows where that is. So then he goes inside and he's like does it, and it shoots up above 100.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah.
And he was asking TikTok like, what
Geiger counter, isn't it called?
I think it's a guy. I know that's to do with like actual radiation. I don't know if that's the one you do electrostatic.
Oh, radiation. I see. This is electrostatic. Okay.
Or electromagnetic or something.
Oh, I see.
So it's different. It's not quite like, you know, it's not like he's got a fucking nuclear power.
We should do that's actually a good one. We should do Iceberg for housing in London, because I know some weird shit.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah. I know one of... Actually, I'll save it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
say it.
Yeah, this is the thing of like, also with this testing, like, how can you test that? Even now in my household, how would I be able to test that? How would I see stuff? Like,
it kind of made me tempted to get one of those so I could like go around there.
They're quite cheap.
I don't know. Never looked
You're just that weird kid around the neighborhood, like... Imagine walking up to someone and it's coming off them.
Fuck.
Alien.
Or they just
lizard man.
Maybe they just live in somewhere like...
Yeah, they just like absorbing all the...
Yeah, don't know.
Well, they just like to wear a lot of clothes that give off static. Yeah. Why are you wearing like those... What would it be, like woolen?
He wears socks everywhere.
Rubbing his feet everywhere.
His hair's always like this. But you don't need the kind.
Does that balloons?
Yeah.
Like
balloons that always stick to
it
can't go into a card shop because all the balloons
come to him. That's a really shit superpower.
He rubs a dog and the dog's head just goes...
Every time he shakes your hand, you're like, fuck man, like a...
Fuck off.
He's also got long hair too, annoyingly.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily long hair.
Yeah.
Do you think bald guys... on a side note, do you think bald guys get static?
Yeah.
Can they do it with a balloon?
Probably not on the head.
Oh, on the chest.
Yeah.
With I was just thinking like, do bald guys get static electricity?
Doubt it.
They're like lightning rods. On a side note,
Great, yeah. Get a pit note.
On a side note, about lightning rods, they've got this new system where they shoot a laser into the sky, and it because of how the ions work, and it, you know, positively charges or whatever. I don't know the science, but essentially it acts as a lightning rod, and it's a lot better than
the laser.
Metal. Yeah, huge, like a thick beam laser. They just shoot up green laser into the sky. I'll show you.
Like Star Wars.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they just shoot it up into the sky, and it acts as like a lightning rod. A lightning rod is obviously important because it attracts the fucking...
So it doesn't hit everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you seen the art that people create from that? It's really cool.
From lightning?
Yeah. They put
I've seen the ones in their bodies. You seen those?
Yeah.
They get like tattoos.
They put rods in sand.
In sand?
In sand. The lightning hits the rod.
They take it out.
Liquefies the sand into glass.
Oh, that's cool. I've not seen that.
And it comes out, and it's like a glass, like it looks like a glass lightning rod, like lightning strike.
Glass, sand, lightning.
I suppose that would come up.
I hate how you have to Google these. Sweet Home Alabama. What?
It was in a movie called Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. That's not how I found it, but it was in a movie.
Oh, okay. I'm here like glossing over that. Cool. Well, Google's not working, so we'll check that next time.
Really cool. Actually, it's really cool looking though. It is really cool looking.
Yeah, we'll check it out. What is this for? Yeah, we can We can probably stop it there.
Okay, you don't want to talk about this?
Well, we can save it.
Yeah, we can save it.
So yeah, that was actually like top and bottom of the iceberg, not middle, but we've got a lot more to go, and we're gonna save for next time. We'll start getting a little bit darker, I think, because I've got some crazy shit to tell you. You found it?
Yeah, like this stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know how you keep it as sculpture in your house, though. You know.
Yeah,
It does kind of look. When you hear the story, you're like, oh, that's cool, but then it looks kind of like coral.
Does, yeah, it does.
Or like and have you seen the ant systems?
Yeah, and they put molten metal
that.
into it. Yeah,
It's probably something to do with nature and those like
stuff like this as well.
those patterns. That's
yeah, there was
cool.
a way they did it with like some sort of rod into the
Some
ground.
lightning rod. But yeah, that's the sound of the spin cycle finishing. We'll get into some weird stuff next week.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good to be back. Catch you guys in the next one.
The next one. We won't leave our laundry so long.
Yeah, and I'll sort out the fucking camera.